In the NBA today, we have players who have been stars on their respective teams but haven't had team success. Players whose organizations won't or can't surround their star player with the supporting pieces they need to compete in the NBA. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at the NBA players who need to demand a trade in the 2018-2019 season. But, just demand a trade period. It doesn't have to be just a season, but demand a trade period. So before I get into the video, be sure to drop a like on the video to show support. And be sure to subscribe to the channel for the best NBA content out here. And with all that said, let's get right into the video without no further ado.
Turn me all the way up. I'm in this motherfucker. Take the auto-tune off. Fuck the auto-tune. Fuck that auto-tune shit, man.
So to start off the video, we're going to start off with Kemba Walker. So Kemba Walker has been the star stuck on a bad team for some time now. He has been an underrated point guard in the league, mostly because his play doesn't translate into wins. The Hornets haven't really had a clear direction they want to go in. 1 minute they're rebuilding, 1 minute they're trying to contend. They've been a rebuilding team for the past 10 years pretty much. The last time they made the playoffs were in 2016 and 2014, where they were losing 7 games to the Heat and get swept by the Heat. But Kemba is averaging 18.9 points, 5.4 assists, and 3.7 rebounds, along with 1.3 steals for his career. So I'm not blaming him for the team's struggles, but we can blame the organization, mainly Michael Jordan, the GOAT himself. The Hornets are pretty much the salary dump headquarters and the home of bad contracts. First off, this team has 5 players making more than Kemba Walker. Those players are Marvin Williams, Nicholas Batum, Bismack Biyombo, Cody Zeller, and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Secondly, none of these players are worth this much money to begin with, and the team still isn't going anywhere paying these guys this, and they won't be able to because they're paying too much money to players who aren't worth that much. So it's gonna be hard to sign good players. And what good player wants to go here anyway? You never hear about no Jimmy Butler or Paul George or Kyrie Irving thinking about coming to the Hornets. Who really wants to come to this team and play here? So it's just crazy. And since they have no cap space, and they have no clear direction, why keep Kemba here? And he's over here shining. He's the only reason to watch the Hornets play, to be honest. So it's just crazy. So you can obviously see why Kemba needs to demand a trade. I think he should demand a trade to a contending team while he's still in his prime, because if he waits too late, he's gonna just be a Hornet for life. And he is very loyal. He said that he wants to stay with the Hornets, but there has been rumors going around that he was gonna get traded. He was in trade rumors, of course, and teams are really interested in him because he would be a good point guard on a contending team. He's one of the best scoring point guards in the league right now. And if he gets traded to a contending team or a better team, it'll help with his recognition, and maybe he'll have more individual success. Maybe it'll help him get more awards in the future. So I actually feel bad for Kemba Walker. He plays for one of the worst organizations in the league right now, and he's a star. He's a star. He just hit 10,000 points before players like Kyrie Irving and Jimmy Butler. I know 10,000 points, but it's just a really good milestone to hit, and he's doing this on a bad team. I just wish he would demand a trade. So next up we have Giannis Antetokounmpo. So Giannis is another loyal NBA player who probably won't be going anywhere anytime soon. He has stated that he's loyal to Milwaukee, and they took a chance on him when they drafted him. And you can't really blame him for being a loyal player. You can't blame any player for being a loyal player. But I don't believe he's gonna leave the Bucks, but I believe that he should request a trade after what's going on the team right now. With him being pretty much in his prime right now, he might need to get traded elsewhere because unlike most teams, the Bucks don't have that many bad contracts on their team right now. Maybe you can say Matthew Dellavedova making $9.6 million, and maybe Tony Snell making $10.6 million, but Giannis hasn't had much team success with the Bucks in the past 4 seasons. In the past 4 seasons with the Bucks, they either didn't make the playoffs or they were eliminated in the first round. But the past 2 seasons when they were led by Giannis, they came close. Last year's playoffs, they lost in 7 games to Boston, and the year before that, they lost in 6 games to the Raptors. Giannis has developing players around him right now, such as Thon Maker, Malcolm Brogdon, and they have newly added rookies that can contribute in the future, like Dante DiVincenzo, and they have Trayvon Duval. But he does have a potential star in Chris Middleton, who's extremely underrated in the league right now, and along with Eric Bledsoe and Brook Lopez. So we'll have to see how that experiment works out this season. But I can see them losing in the first round again, and maybe second round at most. They're definitely not, no NBA, like they're not going to no NBA finals this season. Definitely no. So I don't see them getting that far. But adding Brook Lopez this season, I don't think that the Bucks are some team that you want to sleep on. I believe that they'll, get about 45, maybe even 50 wins. I mean, not 50 wins, but 45, 48 wins maybe this season. And I'm not saying they have a good case for the finals or conference finals, but I'm saying you're not a team you want to sleep on, especially that since they're in the East, and being led by Giannis. But in the future, I believe that if the Bucks were able to surround Giannis with the supporting pieces he needs, they would have a good case to keep him in the future. Because I'm not saying he'll leave, but I'm saying if he was to think this way and be oh, I'm not getting anywhere, I want to win a title, they would have a good case to keep him, and they would have a good a case to make the playoffs, deep into the playoffs, especially since they're in the Eastern Conference, like I said before. But as it's looking right now, I think he should demand a trade. So last but not least, we have Damian Lillard. So Damian Lillard is another one of the most loyal players in the NBA, and as you can see, this is like a trend here. The loyal players are stuck on the bad teams, and their teams aren't supporting them with a good supporting cast to get deeper into the playoffs. So this is a common thing. But Damian Lillard is a loyal player in the NBA. He talks about he wants to be not a trailblazer for life, but he wants to just be on the Trailblazers for a long time. And I mean, you can't really blame him. They've been they respect him, they treat him good, but they just can't seem to get a good supporting cast around him. But I mean, I can't see him demanding a trade, but it still doesn't mean he shouldn't demand a trade. Lillard as a player has been a top 10 player in the league for the past 2 seasons. He's been Portland's star player, but every year he finds himself scrapping for a win total in the mid-40s every season. And you can't forget the playoffs where the Trailblazers don't make it anywhere. In the past 3 seasons, the Blazers have made it out of the first round 1 time. And these past 2 seasons, we see them get swept in the first round twice. But it's not all his fault. We can partially blame his organization for this. But Portland is currently paying Evan Turner $17.8 million. They're paying Mo Harkless $10.8 million. They're paying Myers Leonard $10.5 million. I bet you haven't even heard of 2 of those players unless you follow the NBA. But I'm not saying these players are necessarily bad players. It's just that they're not living up to their contracts, and you can blame the Portland for giving them these contracts. So that's kind of a big thing. And just imagine if they were to dump these contracts, especially Evan Turner, $17.8 million. You can imagine dumping that and having that extra cap space to sign, maybe not another star, but maybe some good role players, and maybe actually another star to pair up with Dame and CJ. Then I would push them over the top and be a better team in the Western Conference. So as you can see, Portland likes to hand out bad contracts, but I've heard NBA rumors, trade rumors that involve Portland trying to trade these contracts and get rid of them. I mean, if they were able to do that, I mean, it would make things better for Dame, because maybe they could try to sign another player in the offseason on free agency. That'd be really good. So it could help, because to be honest, it's pretty much just Dame and CJ, to be honest, and mainly Dame. So I mean, if Portland can't do anything to help them, I don't see why Dame should stay. But he hasn't really mentioned leaving. So I mean, it's not really something that would happen. I mean, I think he's fine where he's at. He's a star player there. He's the number 1 option on that team. So I don't see why he would leave if he likes the situation there. But I do think he should demand a trade, because I think that Portland they just failed to pair him with any good stars. He's a top 10 player in the league right now. If you put him on another team, for example the Timberwolves, they're going deep into the playoffs. He just needs a team, a good supporting cast. He can't do it by himself every year, and then he gets backlash because of him and his playoff success. So I think that's something that needs to be done. I think he needed to demand a trade. But those were the players I believe need to request or demand a trade from their teams. If you think I left a player off the list, be sure to comment and let me know who it is. Also, drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, as it helps my channel grow and gets my videos out to a bigger audience, and helps me grow as a whole. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out your day to watch this video. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any suggestions for videos you want to see, let me know down in the comment section. Also, let's see if we can hit 5 likes on this video, because that'll be dope. Shows me, guys, that you really appreciate these type of videos or enjoy these type of videos. But with all that said, my name is the Windy City Assassin, and I'm signing out. Peace.